Welcome back to STL TV Live. I'm Sarah Bernard, and joining me in the studio is Chris Clark, the Artistic Director of Cinema St. Louis. So, who would know there is a lot of filmmaking going on in this town?
A lot of great filmmaking going on in St. Louis.
And that's why you guys are around Cinema St. Louis, to help promote that?
It was an offshoot of things we were already doing. In our history, our original title was the St. Louis International Film Festival, which is our main event of the year, films from all over the world.
Right.
Like the Sundance Film Festival. We have one here.
Right.
But over the years, we started to add more and more annual events, such as the St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase. So we then changed our name to Cinema St. Louis to more fully incorporate all of our different events.
Yeah, so you guys have been around for 20 years.
Yes.
20 years. And so there is filmmaking going on in this town, and you want people to know about it. So this weekend is the showcase for all of the films that are being made in St. Louis or by St. Louisans. Is that right?
What the difference between the International Film Festival and the showcase is the St. Louis Filmmaker Showcase is dedicated exclusively to St. Louis-based filmmakers and occasionally a few expatriates who escaped our shores to work elsewhere, you know, across the Midwest or LA or Chicago or
you keep in touch and
yes.
They send their films back in?
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as there's a strong St. Louis connection on some level to the film or the topic or the filmmakers involved, then it's eligible to be considered for this event.
So this event specifically is for St. Louis filmmakers, but the fall event, the International Film Festival, those films are from all over. There might be some that come from this weekend and others from elsewhere. Is that right?
A small portion of the films from the showcase will be invited then to rescreen in competition in the St. Louis International Film Festival in the fall. That event includes a much wider scope of films from all over the world. Documentaries and short subjects and narrative features and big studio splashy films.
Right.
Like the Black Swan, you know, things like that will be part of the International Festival.
Yeah, okay, so this weekend, so how many films do you look at before you even determine how many can be eligible for the weekend, this festival?
Annually, we usually receive around the same number, ironically, about 120 to 130 submissions for the showcase each year. This year, I think there were about 127, if I'm not, you know, somewhere around there.
Right.
And from that, we have a finite amount of space and time to fill up during the days that we have rented the theater, the Tivoli Theater in this case. Some are, you know, feature length, so that'll take up an entire section. But the majority of the films in the event are short subjects. So first I have to watch them all and see which ones are a little bit better than the others and which ones are great and which ones are not so great, and I make little piles, and then I start to, for the short subject programs, that's almost often the most fun because you get to like sort of pick and choose like what films will work best together. Like there's a comedy show and a thrillers and documentary shorts and a dramatic shorts and all kinds of, you know, ways to put them together.
Right, so you, Chris Clark, are watching all of these films and then creatively packaging them together for this weekend festivity.
Yes. And
do you get a lot of people, St. Louisans, who come and literally for 4 or 5 days and watch all the films, or are people picking and choosing?
A little bit of both. What the great and easy sell of this event is, you know, it's local. So people's families and their cousins and grandmas and boyfriends and girlfriends and, you know, co-workers will all come and support their friends and family who have made films in the event. But we have an increasing number of people who are just fans of or friends of you know, filmmakers in the event, and the bar of the quality of the overall quality of the films has increased so dramatically from when we started this event 12 years ago.
So where are these filmmakers? Are they mostly coming out of the universities? Are they established production companies? What are you seeing?
They are everywhere.
I know they're everywhere.
You know, the easiest thought, and you were correct, is a lot of the film students in town participate, but there are in this digital era, it is so much easier for anyone to create a quality, very nice looking high def image with cheaper cameras and electronics and home editing systems. We've had, not this year, but we've had participants as young as 4th graders.
Really?
And high school students, a lot of college students, and then just people that are out in the community. From year to year, there are some of the same names and directors that we see again and again and again who keep working.
I was wondering if you see a repetition.
And even in the course of a single year, like this year, there's a person who might be a director of one film who's on a crew on various capacities of a couple of other films. So there's a lot of You know,
Yeah.
it's a very strong base, and a lot of people work with each other. But then there's people who are more hobbyists who they're not part of the regular filmmaking scene,
Yeah.
quote unquote, but they have made a nice film, and they've made it, you know, somewhere else that it's sort of out of the mainstream.
Yeah.
And then there are people who are full-time filmmakers,
Yeah.
living amongst us, who that's what they do.
They're here. They're everywhere.
That's what they put in their W-2. Filmmaker is their job.
That's their job. So we're going to talk more about this in just a minute. We have to take a break.
Great.
Obviously very exciting, and we're so glad you're here to tell us all about this. So we're going to hear more about the films coming up this weekend. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. We have so much more with Chris when we return. And remember to keep up with STL TV and all the great events going on around St. Louis. Friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can always watch us streaming live on STLTV.net. We'll be right back with more STL TV Live.